Guys, you need to try this right now in order to clear out Hard Doom Tower today. Guys, what's up? I am Felris, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, bringing you another Doom Tower boss guide, specifically highlighting two awesome champions that everybody needs to use to clear this content. All right, so we're going to go into Doom Tower. I have not yet cleared the rotation, guys, so we're going to go ahead and do that today. We're going to be rewarded with a Sacred Shard for our trouble, and this is actually not the team we are going to be using. We are going to be using my Eternal Dragon team, which is right here. So I've made a couple changes to this team from last time I did this rotation. It now includes the Calamitous, Armand's the Magnificent, Grand Oak Padraig, Lord Entertainer Fabian, and Korugar Deathbell. Specifically, Armand's and Fabian are going to be the linchpins to this boss, guys, because Lord Entertainer Fabian on his A3 Spectral Flourish on a 4-turn cooldown attacks all enemies before attacking, has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns, has a 75% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 3 turns, grants an extra turn if there are no buffs on the enemy team after this attack, of course on a 4-turn cooldown, fully booked. So this is really awesome because he's going to be able to lock out the boss. Real quick, click the link in the description to get a free Bambus as well as Ugo at level 15. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. This is where you'll find your free Bambus as well as Ugo at level 15. This gives you an insane start in Raid Shadow Legends, so click that link and let's crush this together. Now, interestingly enough, this boss can actually be locked out. He is immune to Petrification, Stun Freeze, Sleep, Provoke, Block Active Skills, Block Passive Skills, Fear, True Fear, Decrease Speed, Poison, Heal Reduction, Berserk, and Enfeeble debuffs, but he's not immune to cooldown increase, which is really interesting because his entire kit is about cooldown increase. What we can basically do with this boss then is lock them out. Lord Entertainer Fabian was a free champion as a fusion, right? So he's a really good option if you have nobody else. Armand's the Magnificent, similar kind of thing. He's going to help us get through his, through the waves with his infamous A2 skill. Greatest hits on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Attacks all enemies, steals all the turn meter of each target except enemies under sheep debuffs. Also places a stun debuff for 1 turn on all enemies not under a sheep debuff. Then the A1 here, which is what we really want for this boss. Weird Blade attacks 1 enemy, has a 35% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random active skill by 2 turns. Fills the champion's turn meter by 10% for each turn added to the cooldown. That books up to a 55% chance, interestingly enough, and I did actually book out this A1 just for this boss. Now, the rest of the team is all about getting as much cooldown reduction cooldown increase as possible while staying alive. Calamitous is going to be our main boss killer, right? He's going to bring our block buffs, decrease defense, and weaken, as well as just hard hits, right? He's going to help us get through the waves there. Korugar Deathbell is going to keep us alive and help us get back around to our turn meter if I can get him to show his kit. On his A3, let's start with his A3 first. Conduit of Agonies on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places a 25% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. Then his A2 here, Bell's Toll, also on a 3-turn cooldown when fully booked. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance, booked to 100% chance of filling the turn meters of all allies by 30%. Also has a 75% chance, books to 100% chance of removing all debuffs from all allies. So very good champion here. He's going to boost our turn meter, help us get back around. Of course, Grand Oak Padraig also coming in with the turn meter fill here on his A3. Fills the Inspiring Rhythm on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%. Then removes all debuffs from all allies and places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. He also has an ally attack, which is really good with the Armands. Weird Spores on a 4-turn cooldown, fully booked. Teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. Also fully restores all allies destroyed max HP and places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Now, someone you could use instead of the Calamitous to clear waves and do damage is Alice the Wanderer. Now, I don't have Alice built. I think Calamitous is better because he brings the debuffs, drop defense, and weaken, but she does have a very hard-hitting A2 that has cooldown. So the A2 Clockwork Cycle on a 3-turn cooldown when fully booked attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 2 turns. Also has a 75% chance of decreasing each target's turn meter by 15%. If at least one of the target skills has its cooldown increased to the max, decreases their turn meters by 30% instead. And then her damage scales based on cooldowns. On her passive TikTok, whenever this champion attacks, inflicts 3% more damage to each target for each turn remaining on all of their skills cooldowns. The bonus damage is counted individually for each target. And then, of course, she has a potential triple hit. A 1 here attacks one enemy 2 times, places an extra hit if the target has any active skills on cooldown. Each hit has an 80% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. There we go. So very, very interesting kit here from Alice. Then, of course, her A3, also on a 3-turn cooldown when fully booked, attacks one enemy, will ignore 20% of the target's defense. If the initial target is killed, also attacks the enemy with the lowest HP, will also ignore 20% of the target's defense. Alice was a free login legendary back in January, so a lot of you guys probably have her. She can be slotted in place of Calamitous. However, I like Calamitous better, so we are going to go ahead and start this team. One very important thing to realize and keep in mind is on the boss, we have Armand's only using his A1. So he's just going to A1 spam the boss for those extra cooldown reductions. Now, here we go. We've got Padraig going in with the increased speed and everything. Fabian going in, getting an extra turn. He does get an extra turn if the entire enemy team doesn't have buffs, which is kind of cool. Then we've got Calamitous just wiping everything. Of course, Korugar boosted our turn meters, which you don't really need on these boss stages in Doom Tower because everybody's pretty weak, but it is nice and helpful as well. There we go, boosting turn meters again. Awesome stuff. We must have got reset by Padraig. That is super cool for this boss because he's going to try to increase your cooldowns. Padraig's A1 actually has a 50% chance. I think it's a 50% chance to reset a cooldown by 2 turns or decrease a skill cooldown by 2 turns. So potentially he is also a very good counter to this boss. As you can see, like this team is very much designed to take out this boss. What with the lockout, what with the cooldown decrease from Padraig, just in case the boss gets a turn that we don't like. And then, of course, the boss will scale off of his A2. Let's see. Yeah, on the Spirit Rush, on a 3-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies, inflicts bonus damage for every turn remaining on all enemy skills cooldowns, 20% damage for each turn of cooldown. That's a lot of damage. Places a fear debuff on all enemies with no skills on cooldown. So Korugar Deathbell is going to help protect the team here. So good stuff, good stuff. It does seem like we got locked out, interestingly enough. So we're going to want to boost our turn meters. That's exactly what we want. Exactly what we want. All right, let's hope Calamitous can clear things up. There we go. So now they're nice and locked out. We've got crowd control, from Fabian. So we don't really need to worry about the allies too much. Oh, we don't have a reviver though. That's a problem. Let's try this again. Let's see. Edit team. We've got to be faster than the boss here. Eternal Dragon. We should probably have Korugar not use the Conduit of Agony and then open with it on round 3, but make this one first choice because we like the turn meter fill. Padraig. Yep. Good. And then Armand's on round 3. Yeah, only using the A1. Perfect. We want to open with that. And then probably don't want to use it round 1 or 2. Just because Calamitous is going to take care of all the waves anyways. We don't really need to lock them out or anything like that. Should we also turn off the unwelcome guest? Yeah, why not? We do get damage decrease from petrification. So let's do that. And then this is actually going to be first choice. There we go. That should be helpful. We could also turn off the unwelcome guest. I don't know. Probably safer to do so, just so that he gets more turn meter off of his A1. All right, here we go. We'll try it one more time. Okay, so we go in, we boost again. We go in with the A1. Nice, getting more turn meter. I do love Fabian's A1. It's a very good A1. Armand's going in with the greatest hits. There's the bell toll. And then there's the AoE nuke from Calamitous. One thing that's really nice about these boss stages, the waves really aren't anything to worry about, even at the top of Doom Tower. I think most accounts, even, early game accounts, could handle the waves, but the bosses themselves are far more difficult. So it's pretty good design because you don't really have to build a team to work around the waves. Everything you have can just be there to counter the boss, which is quite cool. It's really nice that they did that for us. Let's see. All right, so we go in, we steal some more turn meter. Cool. There's a big AoE nuke again. All right, so we should that fixing our presets should have helped everything. So there we go. We have an increased cooldown. Nice. We have another increased cooldown. Cool. And then we just lock him out. There we go. Now the boss is completely locked out. All he can do is block our active skills, and he can do that, but it doesn't exactly help him because it's only a one turn block active skills. And there we go. He's locked out again, which is exactly what we want to see. There we go. We've got more turn meter there from Fabian. That is very nice. We've got a cleanse from Podrick, which is super cool if he can resist the block active skills. He's not built for resistance. And then, of course, we can decrease our own cooldowns by killing the Eternal Priest. So there are some passives to worry about with this boss, right? On a 5-turn cooldown, this Conjure Souls passive summons 3 minions at the start of the turn, 1 Eternal Priest, and then 2 Eternal Guards. And then Iragoth, which is the boss, can have a maximum of 3 minions in battle at any time. Places an Eternal Rage buff on Iragoth for 2 turns if only 1 minion is summoned or no minions are summoned by the skill. This buff cannot be removed or blocked. The Eternal Rage buff increases Iragoth's speed and causes Iragoth to ignore unkillable block damage shield and ignore 50% of the target's defense when attacking, which is interesting, right? And then on the Consume Souls, at the start of the turn, sacrifices an Eternal Priest, resets the cooldown of Iragoth's skills, and then grants an extra turn. If there are no Eternal Priests on the team, sacrifices an Eternal Guard and heals Iragoth by 15% of Iragoth's max HP. This skill will be on a 4-turn cooldown at the start of the battle and will activate and go on cooldown every 5 turns, even if there are no Eternal Priests or Eternal Guards on the team. So he does have some passives that you do need to worry about. Mostly what you need to worry about, though, is just the fact that he deals a ton of damage. We could put Corvus in here, in place of Calamitous. Yeah, I doubt that we're going to be able to withstand this for much longer because he's going to get his cooldowns back. The other thing we could try is all Sylvan plus Fabian. That could work. Yeah, that could work because of Caldor doing the max HP stuff. But definitely use your Fabian in Eternal Dragon. It is pretty awesome. All right, let's see. Come on, Calamitous. Go. There we go. A1. Cool stuff. Nice. Decreasing cooldowns is great. Awesome. So we A1, which is really good. We cleanse and turn meter boost. We lost Podrick. We still might be able to do this. As long as we don't get locked out again, which we may very well. But if this doesn't work, we could try throwing in Caldor on a Sylvan team plus Fabian. That way we can have some max HP damage, which would be cool. Caldor doesn't have books though, unfortunately, but I don't know. Kind of is what it is, I guess. Core Guard doesn't have any resistance. High resistance would be something super great to run on your cleansers. Let's see. Come on, cleanse us. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so the problem we're running into here is that we are not tanky enough. So that means we have a couple options. We did use Geo before. We can run Caldor, or we can actually run Mithrala. And Mithrala might be able to give this to us, but then we don't have Fabian. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But as you can see, Fabian is an awesome Eternal Dragon specialist. I want to beat the boss for you guys. I want to beat the boss. Okay. Let's try all Sylvan. Let's try the all Sylvan route, or we can try Mithrala. Yeah, let's try Mithrala instead. All right, so Bodel. He's a good option. Bodel, Mithrala there, Armand's Fabian. Potentially that could work, or Korugar. Actually, no, or Calamitous. Calamitous would work really well. This will be a nice team. This will be a very nice team. Again, we'll manual the waves just so that I don't have to go through do another team preset. All right, so we go in with the speed boost. Sweet. We go in with A1, Hex, cool. A1, we want to save our active skills for the boss. Yeah, Bodel is such a fantastic healer, right? And this is the reality of some Doom Tower bosses, some Doom Tower fights. You do have to manual them, but that's okay. That's okay. If you are interested at all in this video, it is because you probably don't have the team on lockdown, just like I don't have the team on lockdown yet. And so it's all right to manual. You don't need to run everything on auto. Let's see. You know what? Let's just A1 spam because I want to be able to nuke everyone. Okay, so he is immune to the poisons. Oh, I forgot about that. He's immune to the poisons. All right, so we lock him out. Sweet, there we go. We go in with the A1 shields. Cool. The other thing that's really good is Elva's block debuffs, which is why I'm sure I had her in the team before. Let's see. We A1. We can only A1 right now. Unfortunately, there we go. We fear. Let's Hex as well. There we go. We Hex. We A1 again. Now, we need Fabian to come off cooldown because he needs to be able to lock out the boss. So let's steal turn meter. Cool. And then we're going to turn meter fill. Awesome. So hopefully we can lock out the boss again. We should be able to. We weren't under any crowd control. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And then, yeah, why not unwelcome guest these guys? Okay, here we go. I resisted the weaken. That's okay. Let's ally attack the boss here. Cool. There we go. We got locked out, but that's okay because we do have a cleanser with high resistance, which is a great reason to bring Mithrala. We go in with the heals. We want to reduce our cooldowns. So, oh crap, you can't steal turn meter from someone under petrification. Okay, so we'll AoE nuke. Cool. We hex. Ouch. And that's the problem with not having a reviver. So one more try, and it's going to be this. So we're going to do the team I had last time, but Mithrala instead of Geo. Let's try this. Again, the boss is immune to poisons. All right, we'll stick it on auto. Actually, wait, no, we want certain. Oh yeah, I forgot Fabian. The entire point of this video was to showcase Fabian. Okay, he is a better lockout champ than Armand, so that's an easy switch. Okay, here we go. Fine. Okay, A1. What did I do? Oh my gosh. Seriously? I need to be more careful with my team. Okay, edit the team. Nope, we need Calamitous. Okay, guys, it is very tired as I'm recording this. No excuse, but okay, and then Mithrala. Okay, here we go. This team is going to live off of Mithrala's shields. Mithrala is also a free champion, so I'm sure a lot of you guys have her. Let's see. All right, A1. Right, again, we need to save buffs for the boss. There we go. All right, Calamitous clearing the waves, no problem. And then A1, we go in. Awesome. We just have Elva spam her A1. That's what we like. Okay, so now Calamitous can just solo clear the wave. Awesome. A1 spam. I love his A1 because it has such an awesome cleanup mechanic. Okay. All right. So then let's start by boosting. Let's start by boosting this time since there's no arm on. Start by boosting and then we lock out the boss immediately. Sweet. That's what we like to see. All right. So then we want to put up the block debuffs, right? Because of the whole A1 that places block active skills. And then we place our drop defense on our weaken. Sweet. Awesome. So now we can ally attack. There we go. Then we can basically just blitz through the damage, right? Our debuffs were blocked successfully. That's awesome. There we go. Unwelcome guests for some crowd control there. Elva is going to help us heal, right? We've got shields from Mithrala to help us stay alive. We've got Padraig helping us decrease our cooldowns. We have nukes from Calamitous. This team does look like it's going to work. There we go. And again, if you have to manual, that's totally fine. Yeah, block debuffs fell off because I think we were a little too fast. But we can cleanse it. That's the other great thing. We can cleanse the block debuffs with Mithrala. Awesome stuff. Okay, let's lock out the boss again. Fabian is running over 300 speed, by the way. He is running over 300 speed, so I'm not sure how it's going to affect anything if you run him at like 270 speed. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to affect anything. He is over 300 speed for Arena, but a lot of these champs are souped up on speed and nothing else, so that's not necessarily good. Let's see. Ally attack. Awesome. Okay, we're making really good work of the boss here. Of course, max HP damage is something that you should definitely consider bringing, particularly because it'll just help speed things up so much. All right, let's steal some turn meter. Awesome. A1. Okay, sweet. Let's go ahead and kill this priest guy. Sweet. And then we'll go with the quad hit into the boss. I think that's the best thing to do. And yeah, let's lock out the boss again. There we go. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the minions do. I think some of them also have lockout. There we go. Nice high resistance cleanser there with it doesn't have to be Mithrala. I just chose her because she has protection on her cleanse skill. We'll go in with that. Let's steal some turn meter so that we can get back around to our skills faster. Explode. Nice. Boost. Nice. We have a hex up there. Sweet. Let's steal some more turn meter. Try to kill this guy before he gets a turn. The debuff is blocked. Awesome. Yeah, so bring a block debuffs. That is what we are learning here. And then, yeah, everybody else can just go to town. Bam. Nice. Very good with the cooldown decreasing. Shields. A nice tanky team here. Sorry, I couldn't get the team right earlier, guys. All right. We go in with the quad hit. Cool. We're going to go in with the unwelcome guest for some crowd control stuff. The continuous heals. Ally attack. And lickety split. The boss is down past half health. Here we go with Calamitous again. Calamitous is in War Master, which I think is helping a lot. We've got an extra turn there. Steal turn meter. We got locked out. But that's okay, because we're going to have our cleanses back here soon. Elva help keeping the Fabian healed up because he's very squishy. Once again, for arena. Boosting. We go in with the A1. Now, other than max HP damage, I think your best bet is to run protection, high resistance, or block debuffs, or both. In this case, a Fabian, and then a nuker to deal damage. Yeah, I think that's... Let me know what strategies you guys use. Nice. Okay. So we go in with A1. Let's see. Let's boost ahead. Yep, and then remove the lockout. All right, we go in with the Spectral Flourish. Locks out the boss again. Awesome. And then we're going to go ahead and steal Turn Meter again. And then we put up the block debuffs. As long as your champs are fast. Oh, snap. Oh, dear. We got nuked. We got nuked. All right, A1 there. Put up a Hex. Oh, we can't revive. That's unfortunate. All right, we got the debuffs blocked, though. So we go in with the decreased cooldown. That's exactly what we like to see. Oh, we lost Mithril. Not good. Very not good. Okay, come on. Decrease cooldown. Perfect. And this is the problem. This is why you need that lockout. So, what did we learn? Attack the Eternal Guards and everything more. All right. Well, guys, I think that'll be it. You guys got the point. You guys saw how good Fabian was. I think this team can do it if I stick a preset on. So let's go ahead and see. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch any more of me trying to figure this out. But the point remains that Lord Entertainer Fabian is an absolutely fantastic champion to help clear this boss. So that being said, we're just gonna, we don't use that on that. We don't use that there. And then round 3, it's first choice. And that'll be second choice so that we pick up anyone who dies. We don't use this. We don't use this. Round 3, this is first choice. Mithrala. Let's open with that, but make that first choice. Yeah. All right. Should be good now.
A few moments later.
Guys, coming back with a real quick part 2. We did, in fact, manage to clear the final floor Eternal Dragon with the squad that I had set up. And the presets were pretty much the same as what we've been using. So Elva wouldn't use her Nature's Paths in the waves, but it would be first choice for the boss. Podrick, I didn't have anything preset for. Fabian wouldn't use his Spectral Flourish, but he would use it for the boss. And then Mithrala coming in with the Sigil of Toxic Glory. Opened, but the Brimming Silix, the first choice at the boss as well. And then, of course, she can just use whatever on the waves. And Calamitous did not have a preset either. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I have been Felris, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and I will see you in another video.